So this is my main, I guess, effects processor for my guitars and bass. I don't know the reason for this video. Just go along with it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to watch it. I just wanted to show you guys a little what I do or how I do my things behind the scenes. So this is like if you're listening to my guitars or bass sounds, they're coming from this. If you've listened to my album, most of the sounds, guitar sounds on there are from this. There's even a couple of vocal sounds that have come from this as well, particularly in You Disappear. Some vocal effects came from this processor right here. And this processor is the Digitech RP1000. It's an older model. I don't know if you can still get it. You might have to go on eBay to find one. In fact, this one came from Reverb.com because it was a replacement for one that died on me. When I was in Texas, I plugged this into a bad wall outlet, and I didn't know it was bad at the time, and it fried it. So yeah, that was unfortunate. It had all my sounds stored in it. Luckily, I had some of them saved, which you can do because this has a USB output. Let's see if I can get a shot of the back. So there's USB back here somewhere. Oh, there it is, right there. So you can plug this in to your computer, and you can run audio through USB as well. So if you're recording, you can get nice, clean input to your computer through USB, and that's how I usually record. So it works really well. It also supports the 4 cable method if you're hooking up to an amplifier. So if you know what that means, if not, do a quick YouTube search on the 4 cable method. Essentially, what it does is it allows this processor to go into an amplifier and only have the power amp supply the amplification for this unit here. So this unit will be the only source of sound, while the amplifier is only providing amplification for this sound. It's not using any of its other amplification for its own sound. It's only going to be using this. And then from there you can control the volume with your master volume on here instead of using the volume on the amplifier. It comes in handy if you're doing live stuff, and it sounds really, really nice, especially not having to go through just to go through one input. It sounds pretty good. So yeah. All right. So one thing that I really like about this is that it's not just an amp simulator, which it is. It's an amp sim, but it's also a stomp box simulator. So most of the distortion sounds or the modulation chorus sounds or the delays and reverbs are emulated from actual stomp boxes that you can actually buy in physical form. So they were modeled, the sounds were modeled, and they sound really, really nice. And they have these nice little switches. They're super, super sturdy, and this whole thing is metal. So if you plan on doing shows or whatnot, this thing will definitely hold up to the road, as long as you don't plug it into a faulty power outlet, that is. Has the expression pedal, which I use for wah sounds or maybe volume swells or something like that. I don't really do anything fancy with it. Oh, maybe like a whammy effect. I don't really do that in my music though. Not yet anyway. Maybe I'll try to incorporate a little bit of whammy things. I think the only time I used a whammy was in the cover of Great Big White World. I used the Strat for that, and the whammy effect in the guitar solo in that. So yeah, that was cool. But yeah, this thing can be assigned to a bunch of different things as well, not just those things. You can assign it to like the rate of a modulation effect. So if you want a chorus to be like super slow, you can dip it down all the way down like this. And then if you want to speed up the chorus, you can just swell it up like that, and it will speed up the rate of the chorus effect. It's pretty handy, and like I said, it can be assigned to anything you want. So take your pick. Your choices are endless. It also has a looper. So if I have like like an idea, a riff or something in my head, I can just press this guy right here, arm it to record, and then you have to press this down, and then that starts to blink. And as soon as you start to play something, that note or that light becomes solid, indicating that it's recording, and then it will stop and replay, loop whatever you recorded until you stop it. If you press this and then unpress it, if you had something recorded in there, it erases it. You can't store your recordings. You can only keep one at a time, which is unfortunate, but you know, I have a computer for my recording, so I don't really need it for that. The knobs are just plastic knobs. They come off, actually. If you pull them, they come off. I actually found that out because the one that died, I took it apart and I had to pull these knobs off to get this metal cover off. The display is only like this kind of like red alarm clock style display. I don't really care for it too much, but I don't really need it to tell me a whole lot. Just what preset I'm at, because I'll remember what my presets are, especially if I name them something. This one is on Recto right now, which is a stock preset that came built into this thing. So it is emulating a rectified amp, and let's see what the stomp box is for the distortion. It's off right now, but if we turn it on, it's on Tube Screamer. Okay, so this is emulating a Ibanez Tube Screamer stomp box. So if on this particular preset, turning that on or off will enable or disable that stomp box. Let's see, does it have an emulation effect on it? It does. What is it? A multi-chorus. Okay, so this is there is a multi-chorus out there. I'm not sure which one this is emulating. Maybe I'm not sure. I can't tell you. It came with a big, thick booklet that listed all of the products that this thing emulates. So it would be really hard for me to tell you all of them. But you know what I can do? I can go through a list of all of them and tell you what they are. I know that this one is the Boss CE chorus. So that is that one. So here we go. TC chorus, chorus. I think that one is called Glistening chorus. I'm not sure. Multi-chorus, Voodoo. That's also a chorus. The Clone is also a chorus. I believe there's a flanger, trigger flanger. So whenever you play a note, it starts the flanging. That's pretty cool. Filter, which is controlled by the expression pedal here. I'll just keep going. Try not to focus too much. Okay, so we're in the phasers, vibrato, rotary. So it's a rotary speaker, a vibe, tremolo, scatter tremolo. It's a weird one. That one's like a tremolo, but it's like randomized pattern. So if you're going for like a weird glitchy sound, this will probably get that for you. And keep in mind, all of these have their individual controls through these other knobs. You can set, let's go back to a chorus. Let's go back to the multi-chorus that this one was on. So if we turn this knob, you can select if it happens before the amp or after the amp sim. And then you can control the rate, which is the speed. The depth goes all the way up from 0 to 99. This one is the wave form, so triangle wave, sine wave, square wave, and then this is your level, of course. And yeah, and then we can go through the same with the delays. Delay, we have, actually we didn't go through the rest of the FX, so where were we at when we stopped? I don't remember. We were at, somewhere, I don't know. Fuck. I lost my spot. Oh, yeah, here we go, the scatter tremolo. Okay. So we're in the trem still. There's a panner, envelope filter. That's another filter there. Auto yaw, so that's like a talk filter kind of thing, but it does it automatically like a phaser kind of thing. There's a yaw, and you use this and that's kind of like a synthesized talk box. There's another synth talk, and I think that one's automated as well. Step filter, that was like a randomized filter. Sample hold, I think it's a long delay, and it just like keeps looping that same thing over and over. Whammy, of course, we talked about that with the expression pedal. Pitch, you can shift up pitch or down pitch your sound. I used to use this back in the day before I had a bass. On one of my older Digitech processors that had the same thing, and I would use pitch to pitch down my guitar to make it sound like a bass. It didn't work too well, and then I eventually got a bass. Anyways, so we have detune. That's good to use if you want if you want a chorus sound but not a chorus stomp box. That kind of does the trick. Harmony is kind of confusing. You have to really know what key you're playing in to use this, and since it it's not like a universal kind of thing. It's you would have to make a preset for a song in particular to use this preset, or else it's just going to sound weird when you try to play with it outside of that key. I don't know if that makes any sense, but trust me, it's a weird preset, and you only want to use it if you know how to use it. Otherwise, it's just going to sound weird. Octaver, okay, so that's just an octave kind of thing. It gives you the option for 1 or 2 octaves. You can use them both simultaneously and individually, which is cool. And I think that's the end of the list. Yeah, okay. I just realized we didn't do that with the distortions, or the distortion stomp boxes. So we have Tube Screamer, the 808, the Tube Screamer mod, the SD Overdrive, OD Overdrive, Spark Drive, I can't remember which one, Sparkle Drive, I think, maybe. Anyways, we're just going to keep going. I'll point out the ones that people might know. This one is designed after the Rat Stomp Box. MX Distortion, that's yeah, that one's from a standard, I think it's a little orange guy, a little orange stomp box. DS Distortion, that's also the Boss DS1. It's not the modded DS1 though, so I'm a little disappointed with that because they had the modded Tube Screamer, but not the modded DS1. So it is what it is, I guess. The Grunge, I remember this was the DOD pedal. We used to have this in my first band. The Metal Zone pedal, the Death Metal pedal. We also had this, the Death Metal pedal. This is a ring modulator, I believe. I'm not sure what that one is. That's probably an octave. Fuzz. The Big Muff fuzz pedal right here. And that's the end of those. So there's a lot. There's a lot in there. And then if we go through the amp sims, let's see, where is it at? Here we go. So that one's on the triple rectifier, but we're going to go through these. So the 57 Champ, 57 Deluxe, 59 Bassman, 62 Bassman, the 65 Twin, 65 Deluxe Reverb, the 45 JTM, I believe that is a Marshall. We're getting into Marshalls now. Okay. Yep. That one, I use this one a lot, the 900 JCM. It gives me like a, I don't know, like a really nice, angry, like bitey distortion. I don't know how to explain that. But yeah, I use that one a lot. Not so much that one. I thought about it, but it's a little too fizzy for my tastes. The dual rectifier is also a little fizzy. The triple rectifier is really bassy, but if you pair them with a nice distortion stomp box, it comes out really nice. The triple rectifier, we just went through that. I think that's a Carvin, actually. That's a Carvin amp right there. I don't know if you know what Carvin is. Do some research, take a look. They had some really cool stuff back in the 90s. There is an orange amp in here somewhere, this one right here, and for the life of me I can't get this one to sound good. I mean, it sounds okay, but it's like one of those tones, it's one of those rhythm guitar tones, you know, it's just like in the background. It's not very practical. I mean, it's probably good for like beefing up a rhythm section, but I would not showcase this tone. It's pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty and not in a good way. And then right here, the PV5150. This one's actually based on a PV5150, and I used this when I played a lot of Bullet for My Valentine because they used these amps, and it actually is very close. Um, so if you're into that sound, this processor is probably a good choice for you. The RG100, which is a Randall. If you play a lot of Metallica, you're probably going to want this. And then we get into the Digitech made amps. So these are, um, oh no, this is actually the blah blah blah, the Roland Jazz Chorus, and that's also nice. See, look, the two Metallica tones are right next to each other. Who would have thought it? Okay, anyways, the Jazz 120, that's for your clean tones. Metallica is notorious for using this amp in their clean stuff, but so are a lot of other bands. But I think they probably took that cue from Metallica, or maybe something like that. Who knows? Solar 120. I'm not sure which one this is. Okay, so here is when you get into the Digitech amplifiers. So it's that one, metal, and these are very generic, but they do sound good. I'm not saying they don't sound good. They're just generic. They don't have like the personality of some of those other amps do. But okay, if we go here, we have direct, and I usually keep it on direct if I'm recording vocals through this, because I don't like to put an amp simulator on my vocal. It sounds fucking weird. So yeah, direct is the way to go for that. Anyways, there's reverbs too. I don't really feel like I should go through the reverbs for some reason. But you know what? Just because I'm doing this already, I might as well do it. So let's see. What do we got for reverb? Let's go all the way back. The twin spring. Okay, so that's just your standard spring reverb. I think you can only control the level with that one. See, that knob does nothing, 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 nothing. Reverb level. There we go. Simple, effective, sometimes. The twin spring. This has, what are they? Lexicon reverbs. So yeah, Lexicon, I believe, supplied reverb for this processor. So you got some really good stuff in here. So this is a Lexicon ambience reverb, Lexicon studio, room, hall, an empty plate, and that one's pretty cool. I mean, it's very very reverby. It's like very hall like, but a little bit more than that. So lots to choose from. Pretty much anything you would need for any kind of sound you're going for, and anything besides the twin spring can be adjusted very much. The pre-delay, decay, liveliness, nothing, and then the level. I think one of these has something else, but I'm not sure. No, maybe not. Anyways, yeah, so this is what I use for for most of my sounds that you hear on my recordings. So if you like it, if you want to see if you've heard my music, so if you want to see this thing in action, I guess go try to pick one up. Reverb.com or maybe eBay. I don't know. I think I paid like $300 for this. No, it wasn't 300. The first time I bought it, it was $300. The second time I bought it, it was like 150. So if you're, yeah, you could probably find one for about $150, maybe $200 now. Go get one. That's my endorsement. Or not, I don't care. Use what you like, but I really like this one. It's very effective.